Knowing what's to come. "Where are your parents?" SS Obersturmfuhrer Trumbauer asked me. "I don't know. They were supposed to be with him," I said, giving the answer my mother and father had prepared for me. "The embassy. Go. Go," Trumbauer said, dispatching some of his soldiers. "Find them." I held my breath as the soldiers ran off into the night. I prayed my parents wouldn't be caught. They should already have been gone from the city hours ago, but it was a long way from Berlin to Dublin, and they would have very few allies along the way. SS Obersturmfuhrer Trumbauer walked up close to Simon, who was being held by two SS men. Simon wasn't squirming or trying to get away. "You should know it was the O'Shaughnessy's son who turned you in. Turned his parents in, too," Trumbauer said with unmitigated delight. It wasn't enough that he'd caught Simon. He wanted to rub my betrayal in his face. "Michael?" Simon said, searching the darkness. "Michael, say it isn't so." The heartbreak in his voice was so real, I thought my own heart would explode. How could anybody do this to someone else? But I had a part to play, or else this would be all for nothing. I pushed through the other SRD boys in the darkness and stepped into the light. "You're an enemy of the state," I told Simon, my voice shaky. "And my parents broke the laws of Germany, hiding you. But even worse, they broke the laws of human nature. They betrayed the Aryan race by hiding a Jew." I said the word like an insult, like profanity. "How can you say that?" Simon asked. "How can you believe any of it?" I stood taller, making sure the flashlights caught my puffed-up chest, my upturned chin, because I belong to Hitler now. "I can see that you do," Simon said. "Well, if you belong to Hitler, why don't you go to him? Go to the devil." One of the soldiers slammed the stock of his rifle into Simon's stomach, and Simon doubled over in pain. I had to resist crying out for the soldier to stop, and did my best to hold back my tears. The boy in me was scared for what was going to happen to Simon now, scared to be on my own for the very first time in my life. I took a deep breath and tried to remember to be a man. "I wonder, Michael," Simon said, still hunched over in pain. "Did you ever hear the one about the Englishmen, the Irishmen, and the Scotsmen who were all lined up in front of a firing squad?" I couldn't believe Simon was telling jokes here, now. I didn't even have a chance to stammer a response before he went on. "The lads are told that they each can have a final request. The Scotsman says, 'I'd like to hear Scotland the Brave played on the bagpipes before I'm shot, to remind me of the old country.' And the Irishman says, 'I'd like to hear Danny Boy sung by Gracie Fields before I'm shot, to remind me of the old country.' So knowing what's to come, the Englishman says, 'I'd like to be shot first.'" Simon yanked himself free, decked the closest SS man, and sprinted down the tunnel. Whistles blew. People shouted. Shots rang out. Simon fell. "No!" Without thinking, I ran to him, but luckily others did too. One of the SS was already kneeling down beside him when I got there. "He's dead," he said.